Hello, hello, and good morning. It is now 12:04 Monday, the 16th of August. And I am the Big Gorgonzola, Organ Meat Supreme. I just wanted to make this short little video right here. I'm going to break this down into a series of parts because I don't like making 85-minute videos for people who's just on the run. Most of you, I'm assuming like me, just you want something to click on and listen to when you're in the gym pumping it out. And, a 5-minute video, you could work with that. Guys go on for 3.5 hours. Once again, the lead attorney, that guy's still doing a live podcast, and he started like at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Jeez, man. Jeez. Come on, man. And he wants to have feedback on how to monetize this channel. Bro, well, 8-hour podcast is not going to how you do it, man. If anything, cut those things down to 8 1-hour segments. But, jeez. Whew. But anyway, I just wanted to inform you guys that came up with a good idea. I'm going to do some butt naked yoga on this channel pretty soon, just so I can get my views up. There's nothing wrong with a butt naked yoga. Got your ding-a-ling hanging out and your big salty balls is hanging out there, and then you're doing your kundalinis and your hatha and your Pilates and all of that, So, stay tuned, yeah. I just got to go get me some coconut oil and lather up my balls and everything, and then I'll come out in the park and everything and get myself a yoga mat and do some downward facing dog and all of that jazz. Stay tuned. Yeah, if anything, tell your moms and your grandmoms and everybody else at the senior center, hey, the Big Gorgonzola, he's doing butt naked yoga. Hey, how you doing? All right. But also, before I go back in the house, because it's a bit humid out here, it's got to be in the 80s or something. I just wanted to say this part of the video is I'm going to call you women are doing this wrong. All right. Now there can be a lot of things you're doing wrong, but for part one, I'm gonna concentrate on that. I don't think it can get any worse, and I think I agree. Well, I've come to the conclusion, I agree with myself, I agree with other people, that you women are giving up the pussy way too fucking soon. I was trying to keep it clean, but this is a grown-ass topic, and some of you women need to grow up about this thing, and you need to come to grips with the fact that the reason why your life is a mess, and the reason why your relationships don't exist, and they're all tumultuous and full of strife, is because you gave up the pussy too soon. You gave up the pussy under the outline of a relationship instead of the broad definition of a relationship. A lot of you women thought because I like this guy, if I give him myself, that means that I chose him and then he will choose me likewise, and then we'll have this great relationship, and then we'll carry on into the sunset eating raisins and going picking for truffles on every Saturday, and we'll get an ugly dog and a minivan and a house in the suburbs with a white picket fence, and I'll get fat, and then I'll get some furniture that complements my fatness, and then everything will be great and hunky-dory till the end of time. And that, you found out the hard way, was a fool's errand. That was a fool's errand. What you wound up doing was just giving that man some pussy for free under the obligation that you were in a relationship, but not the clear understanding from both of you. What you've got to do is you've got to communicate. And basically, at this point, for the older women, you already burnt that bridge, But for the younger women, what you have to do is you have to communicate with that man what you got. If you like that man, you're attracted to him, you got to figure out where you stand before you give yourself to him. Because you got a lot of women who are angry out here, and because they're hurt, they feel rejected, because they never understood not one part of any relationship that they were in, because every relationship that they were in was purely a sexual relationship. This man had no interest in building a intimate, interpersonal, long-term relationship with you. He didn't mind stabbing that pussy every time you put it on him, no. But that was you, because you didn't know how relationships work. You figured However, I feel he feels the same way. That would make you a fool. But you burnt that bridge, so we'll just say that was foolish behavior. You got to carry on accordingly, making yourself better. All right? A lot of you women, you figured, I'm going to double down on something stupid. I'm going to get pregnant by the man. I'm going to have this man's child, because if I can't get commitment out of him just giving him the pussy, well, if I have his child, I'll get more commitment out of him. And, that didn't happen either. And if you really pay attention, that is the reason why a lot of men don't like they really have no problem with child support, but because you made the child. The problem is they don't like the woman that they made the child with, because they didn't want anything serious with her. Now, once you have a child with her, you got a serious link to that woman. So a lot of times women are using that as vengeance. They're using the child support system to get back as vengeance to the man because he didn't want you. And a lot of the women are angry because that man picked some other woman instead of being honest with themselves. I never had the conversation with the man about the kind of relationship I wanted. I offered him sex. He took that sex, and then I misread everything after that. And a lot of men, they're not being honest with themselves. I shouldn't have messed with that woman if I wasn't really feeling her. I should have left her for a man who wanted her instead of tainting her for every man after me. That's what he should have done. Because my personal opinion, man, is, look, every time you have sex, you have to anticipate getting pregnant. It don't matter if if it ain't during her fertile days. It don't matter if she's on 2 forms of birth control and you on 1 form of birth control. None of that stuff matter. Get your fat ass out the street. All right? Everybody else would run when the light changed. She's sitting up in there, big old, giant old kickboxing, breakdancing fat ass, standing in the middle of the street. All right, but anyway. My opinion is every time you have sex, you have to anticipate getting pregnant. It doesn't matter what kind of birth control you use, whatever its level of effectiveness is. It doesn't matter if you're using the pull-out method, the rhythm method. These are not her fertile days. It doesn't matter, because everything can be a fluke. The condom can break. The pills could be defective. The IUD or the foam, that could be defective. You could forget to pull out, or you could have pulled out too late, or you could have miscalculated how many days were in her cycle that you don't know when her fertile days are. So every time you have sex, you have to anticipate that the woman may get pregnant. So to save yourself, and this is what I tell my kids, so to save yourself, what you want to do is you don't want to engage with women that you're not really feeling, because the worst thing you want to do, the worst thing in this world at your age, I'm talking about my son and so forth. The worst thing is to be yoked to some woman you don't like for the next 20, 25, 30 years. Right? You don't want to be yoked to some woman you don't like. So women, you're doing it wrong. You coming out here head first, throwing your pussy out there, and then hoping it amounts to something. People never did that in the past. Oh yeah, women was throwing that pussy out there, but they were doing it after somebody screened the men that they were talking to. Now women want you to believe that her judgment is all that matters. Well, if your judgment is all that matters, then why are you making bad decisions? All right? Why would you pick some dude that ain't feeling you, and then you getting angry with him and angry with the whole world instead of angry with yourself that you picked some dude that wasn't feeling you, and you gave yourself to him under the guise that if I give myself to him, he will like me more and feel me more, and then we will have what I want to have. You need to find out what he wants to have, because without his participation, nothing is moving. Without his participation, nothing is moving. All right? Now, as a dad, I got to tell this to the young girls, and I got to tell this to my daughter. No, do not throw your pussy out there just because I'm not even making this line up. This is a Melly Mel line. If you listen to Melly Mel in the Message Part 3, just because he tell you he love you don't mean you should sit on his dick. Even if he says he loves you, he's got to have to prove that. Prove that by doing something useful to me. Not to you, baby girl, but to me, daddy. Prove that, man. Make a commitment. But see, what happens is we don't respect or value men's input anymore. So now women out here thinking, they don't listen to them white women and them lesbians too much, Oh, you can do what he want to do and he can do what he want to do and it don't even matter. We all the same. We're all the same, but we have different ways of looking at things. All right, so what you're doing is you're invalidating the alternative opinion and judgment because we all the same. Theoretically, hypothetically, probably, but not likely. All right? So all I'm saying is, this is part one of women, you're doing it wrong. Stop giving up that pussy so easy. All right? These women out here, they don't even know how to date anymore. They wind up giving the pussy on the dude on the first date. Which when you do that, you negate the need for a second date. You're supposed to get to know this dude. Make him think he's getting something special. Because this will come back to bite you in the end, and I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I'll tell you later on in one of the parts to come. You can't do that. You can't be out here and then throwing that pussy at everybody, and then you want some man somewhere to see something special in you when he's looking at your whole resume. Well, if you gave this pussy to nobodies, you must be a nobody. Remember, water seeks its own level. You can't give this pussy to nobody and try to convince me you are somebody. You can't convince me that this man is a deadbeat, he's a bum, but you fucked him. He didn't force you to fuck him. Every time you gave that dude some pussy, you decided to give him some pussy. This was the conscious decision you made. Because remember, if it was an unconscious decision, or if it was an involuntary decision, well, that's a felony. That's a whole different discussion. And if we're not having that discussion, that means you, as the woman, consented to give this man some pussy every time. So all I'm saying is you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. All right? I'm not even going to go. I'm trying to keep this part of the discussion over here on the things that I feel and I know. I'm not trying to get over there with some of that red pill shit with the pumping dumps and the cum dumpsters, and then some of these dudes ain't been with a woman ever. But they got all of this animosity. They have all of this hatred and all of this vile against women that have rejected them. That whole Elliot Rodgers scene. I'm not there. I'm just saying that you women, young ladies, because at this point, the young lady's the only one that matters because the old women have made all their mistakes. If you are 48 to down to 31 and you don't got it together, you can hang it up. This is for the young ladies of 17 to 31. All right? This is for the young ladies 17 to 31. All I need you girls to do is just to take this thing seriously. All right? When you out here and you see a guy you like, you got to get to know that guy. Find out, is he worth you giving yourself to him? Because a lot of dudes, they convince themselves they got game and I spit my mouthpiece and nigga, shut the fuck up, man. Ain't nobody want to hear that shit. I done heard motherfuckers spit their game in their mouthpiece, and that special ed shit don't fly with a lot of people. All right? Here I am in New York City, and don't tell me you're going to spit your game in your mouthpiece and you from damn Podunk, Kentucky. What you going to talk about to these big city women, man? Huh? If you from batshit Kansas, what you going to talk about the Chicago women? You ain't got nothing to talk about them women. Your mouthpiece ain't crisp, it ain't fresh. Nigga, you're corny in your country. And additionally, in a more polite note, in a more friendly note, your mouthpiece got nothing to do with anything. All you got to do is be personable enough, and if she liked you, she was going to give herself to you. So you never convinced her to do anything that she didn't already want to do. You just found a way of not talking yourself out of getting that pussy. Now me, I'm going to tell you, my personal life story, I always talk myself out of the pussy because like I said, if any instance can get you pregnant, I don't want to be dealing with no shit I don't want to handle. I can't handle. All right? I don't want to be halfway through law school and then you talking about you pregnant and I got to drop out, get me a job at Baskin Robbins or something like that because, I got to hold it down my way. Or now we sitting there yelling at each other over the phone or text messages, or I'm banging on your door at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Trina, let me see my son. I won't see my boy. Come on. Nah. You see? And there are a lot of other black men that think the same way that I do. It sounds like, you lost an opportunity of getting the draws, but look, man, I want that woman to understand what she getting into. Because she getting more than she can handle. See, when the spit their game and the mouthpiece dudes start talking, all that shit sound great, but them niggas is cornballs. Listen to them. Them dudes is cornballs. You couldn't build with them dudes. You couldn't rely on those dudes. All right? You could take the dick down, and if that's all that matters, I'll take the dick down. But then when you sitting over here wondering why your shit ain't together, well, you took the dick down by the wrong dude. So anyway, that's all I'm saying is you ladies have got to, for the young ladies, get to know the dude before you decide to give up the pussy. Go on a real date. If you don't know what that is, look that up on the internet and then find out what people was doing in the 70s and the 80s. They'd go out and get some pizza. They'd go out and then go see a movie. They'd go to the park and then go see a concert or something like that. They go with a museum, someplace where you get to know this person. Y'all just hooking up and getting down and, and if you want something more serious, you done gave the man everything you got to offer. So there's no real reason for me to invest any more time after this. This is for the ladies. And for the men, I'm just saying the same thing because the last thing you want to do is you want to be some clown in child support or in child support family court talking about, I can't do that. And then, you still living with your mother at 27, 28, and then you can't afford to buy a new car because they done garner so much of your wages that your debt to income, it look pathetic, man. You go in there to buy a car, that dude give you a skateboard. That's all I'm saying. So I'm going to continue more on this later on, but it's just that, look, this message is for the young men and for the young women. For the older women, you're going to have to come to grips with those decisions that you made in the past and find out if that is inhibiting you from progress in the future. You're going to have to come to grips with, hey, man, I picked the wrong man. I fucked the wrong dude, and my kids is but the wrong guy. I ain't never had a relationship. My shit ain't never been together because I don't know what I'm doing. So I need to come to grips with the fuck, and then I gotta ask myself, am I spreading my ignorance of what the fuck I'm doing to my children? And because if I'm doing that, I'm gonna have to stop that because the shit that I don't know, they think I know what I'm talking about, and they're gonna emulate the same thing. Now it becomes a cyclical generation of motherfuckers that don't know shit, doing shit they don't know, expecting some great results, which really can't happen. And you need to wait till I get to the next part to tell you why you think that way. When I get to the part where women, you're doing it wrong and why you think that way, oh, you ain't gonna believe me. You ain't gonna believe me when I tell you why. But I get up with you people later on.